Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Making Memories with Michelle. I'm Michelle Irene, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today is my 4th day in my series of boxes and bags, and I saw this cute, oh my goodness, it's adorable, little gift pouch when I was on Pinterest, and I thought, oh, I just have to make that. It's kind of a twist on the old sour cream containers. Some of you have made those. I know I've made a few of those. And I don't know about you, but there was something about this that just said it needed some candy inside. And so when I made my sample, all I could think of was M&Ms. I don't know why. There's nothing about this that screams M&Ms, except maybe I was craving some chocolate. But today we're going to make this, and it's super fun and very cute. So you need a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. Now this is from the Bird Ballad set, and I'm going to use this polka dot pattern. One, because I really love polka dots, and two, if you are new to crafting 3D projects, this is really important. You want to get a piece of paper that doesn't have a directional design, because there's nothing worse than getting your project all made and realizing perhaps that your birds are flying upside down. So we're going to use this piece of designer series paper, and this measures 6 inches by 6 inches square. Now all measurements can be found over on my blog, which is at www.makingmemorieswithmichelle.com. So the first thing we're going to do is we have our Simply Scored board, and we're going to score it at 1 3/8 inches. Now each of these little tick marks, one across, is 1/8 of an inch. So count in 1, 2, 3, 1 3/8, and then we're going to turn it clockwise. That means to the right, 1 time, and we're going to score it again at 1 3/8, but only to the scoring line. Okay, so this line that we cut or scored before, we're going to go 1 3/8 just to there and stop. Now 2 3/4 all the way down, 4 1/8 to the score line, and then 5 1/2 all the way down. Okay, again, that's 1 3/8 to the score line, 2 3/4 all the way down, 4 1/8 just to the score line, and then 5 1/2 all the way down. Again, all of that's over on my blog, okay? Put your scoring board away, and you're going to need a bone folder. Oh, there it is. Thought I had everything out. Okay, now our little birds are going to go inside. Goodbye, little birds. And we're going to score or fold and burnish on all the scoring lines that go all the way down, not on those little ones. Okay, so you should have at the 5 1/2 and the 2 3/4 marks. Now this flap, this tiny flap here, there's a little rectangle. I'd like you to cut that little rectangle down at the bottom completely off. And if you have to turn your paper over so you can see the scoring line, wow. There it is, okay. And take that completely off. Now the rest of your panels cut up to the score line. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to put some glue here, and we're going to fold it over. So I want you, remember yesterday on the video, and I've said this before, how we need to taper in our sides. This is really important on this one because it has such a lovely square fold on the bottom. So we're going to just taper in extremely, you don't need a huge piece. I mean, look at that, it's just minuscule, right? Very tiny. But we need to take all that bulk off of those flaps. If we don't, it just won't lay square and you'll have a lot of overlap, which you can trim off, but it's so much easier to trim off now than it is later. And I'm doing it on all four sides of all of those bottom pieces, okay? Just very slightly tapered. And that one didn't go very well. Sorry about that. Okay, get all of my trash out of the way. Now, I'm going to use some Tombow. You can use some tear and tape. I don't recommend snail when you're crafting 3D because it doesn't hold for me, especially with how hot and humid it is in the south. Speaking of hot and humid, they're saying massive storms today. Already have some tornado watches going on. So it might be a good day just to be up in the craft room, right? Okay, so you just want to hold that down until that glue dries, and it's pretty quick, okay? Now, here's our seam, and we're going to just fold in our sides. And when you start folding in, you're going to see why it was a good idea that we tapered that. And this one's going to go here, and this one will go. So really, the one that faces your seam is your top, okay? And we just need some glue on this piece right here. Whoops. So M&Ms in the south in the summertime in a little pouch like that, unless you're inside all day, not a good idea. So I went to a craft fair once outside, and I had little treats with chocolate. Ask me how well or how long they lasted. I think I gave them out to all the vendors because they were melting so quickly. So I learned my lesson. Can you tell I'm not a southern native? Anyway, so there's your square bottom. This is going to be our top. Let me grab my handheld punch over here. And we're going to punch a hole. And I have this lovely, I absolutely love this petal pink organdy striped ribbon. And cut off a nice length. Oh, these are my adhesive scissors. I think I cut off too much. Thread it through. And then I have some linen thread, and this is on the old spool. And you can cut some of that off as well. And if your twine or your thread is all kinked up, see, from being on that card, just take your bone folder like you would, you know, Christmas ribbon. Work those kinks out. And we're going to come over here. Tie a knot, and you can scooch that down to the bottom. It looks better that way. Okay, and then tie a little bow. And if your bow is really huge, like mine, right, just pull the ends. I'm gonna grab my better snips. Okay, that's looking really good. Now, let's do some stamping, shall we? So over here, I have a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and today we're using the Delightful Day stamp set. And I really like this stamp set for the sentiments. We've got this is really cool. Treats made with love, wishing you a delightful birthday. Today we're going to use the Just a Little Something for You, plus these cute little flowers to make our label. So I'm using Petal Pink and Memento. I'm going to stamp everything first in the Memento ink. And I'm going to get my sentiment. And then I'm going to come in with my 2-inch circle punch. And I want that sentiment right up at the top. Now I have my leaves, and this is going to go down at the bottom. Oops. And then for my flowers, this is where the Petal Pink comes in. And then with my light Granny Apple Green blend, sorry about the noise, I'm just going to color in those leaves, just to add a little more color. I have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock and my Starburst punch. You know, this is my favorite combination for any sort of tag or label. I just love the simplicity of it. So if you don't have this Starburst punch, I tell you, I can't live without it. Okay, then I have some snail here. And because it's super humid already today, I made sure I used quite a bit. I have some basic pearls. I'm going to use these teeny tiny pieces over here. And I'm going to take 3 of these. We're almost done. I'm going to take a couple dimensionals. Oh, not there. Now, that one can go in the trash. Can you tell these are from like my paper pumpkin? I'm just putting them up the center because that's probably all that's going to hit on our little bag. No one's going to see the back of that. Shh, don't tell. Okay, and then just pop this right on. There you go. In just a few minutes, you've made a very cute treat bag that will be absolutely beautiful for a little party favor or guest thank yous or just a little something to give to someone to cheer them up. Again, all measurements can be found over on my blog today at www.makingmemorieswithmichelle.com. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.